Hello students, today we are going to discuss chapter number 5. This is textual and tabular presentation of data. First, we will discuss about the presentation of data. The presentation of data means exhibition of the data in such a clear and attractive manner that these are easily understood and can easily be analyzed. There are many forms of presentation of data. In this topic, we will mainly discuss about the two concepts, but there are the three ways by which data can be presented. First is the textual presentation, second is the tabular presentation, and third is the graphical presentation. First, we will discuss about textual presentation. Textual presentation is also known as descriptive presentation of data. In this, the information is presented in words and data is just a part of the text. This is a very common form of data presentation when the quantity of data is not very large. For example, if it is said that in a rally called by Honorable Prime Minister was attended by a large number of people, that is about 40 lakhs persons were present in his rally. This is a form of textual presentation because here the text is supported by the numbers or by the data. So this is about the textual presentation. This is also known as descriptive presentation. This is one of the most simplest or common form of data presentation. Now, next topic, this is about the tabular presentation. Table refers to an arrangement of data in form of rows and columns. On the other hand, tabular presentation is a process, that is, tabulation is a process of presenting data in the form of rows and columns. Now, in the process of tabular presentation, data is organized in rows and columns. This process is known as tabular presentation. The method used is known as tabulation, or simply we can say that tabulation is a process of presenting data in form of rows and columns. On the other hand, table is an arrangement of data in rows and columns. Now, next topic, this is about the components of a table, very important topic. Following are the principal components of a table. The very first one is table number. First of all, the table is to be numbered. These numbers must be in the same order as the tables. Numbers facilitates the location of the table. For example, table number 1, 2, 3, so and so. In macroeconomics, when we will discuss about the macro concepts, we will have to learn the tables also. And in order to revise or learn the tables, we will use the concept, that is, learn table number 6.1 from book or table number 7.2 from book, so and so. So table number is very important component of table. Now, what's about the title? A table must have a title. The title must be written in bold letters. Dear students, please keep these components in mind because these are very important. The title must be simple, clear and short. A good title must reveal the problem under consideration, the time period of the study, the place of study, the nature of classification of data, or simply we can say a good title is short but complete in all the respect. Third component is head note. If the title of the table does not give complete information, it is supplemented with head note. Head note completes the information in the title of the table. The unit of data is preferably expressed in lakhs, crores, tons, etc. and expressed in brackets as head note. Next, these are stubs and captions. Stubs are the titles of rows of a table. These titles indicate information contained in the rows of the table. I think you are very much aware about the rows. Rows means the horizontal lines, while the columns means the vertical lines. The headings which are given to the horizontal lines or the rows are known as stubs. On the other hand, the uh, headings or titles given to the vertical lines, that is columns, are known as captions. So, captions are the titles given to the columns of a table. A caption indicates information contained in the columns of the table. A caption may have subheads when the information in the columns is divided in more than one class. Next component, this is body. Body of a table is the most important part of the table. It indicates values of the various items in the table. Each item in the body is called cell. In fact, body of a table means sum total of the items in the table. Now, footnotes. Footnotes are given for the clarification of the reader. These are generally given with information in the table need to be supplemented, and the source when table are based on secondary data, source of the data is to be given. Source of the data is specified below the footnote. Let's recall all the points. We have the very first one, table number, then title, then head note, then stubs and captions, then body, then footnote, and then source. Now, this is a format of a table. It is very much clear. All the 8 components. The very first is table number, followed by title, then head note, then stub heads, then captions, then cell, body or body of the table, then footnote and source. So this is the format or sketch of a table. Now after this we have next topic. This is features of a good table. Construction of the table depends upon the objective of the study. It also depends on the wisdom of satisfaction. There are no hard and fast rules for the construction of a table. However, some important guidelines should be kept in mind. These are as under. First, title as compatible with the objective of the study. Title of a table must be provided at the top center of the table, and it must be compatible with the objectives of study. Comparison. Items which are to be compared with each other should be placed in rows and columns close to each other. This facilitates comparison. Special emphasis. Items in a table which need special emphasis should be placed in head rows, that is top above, or head columns, that is extreme left. Such items should be presented in bold figures also. Ideal size. Table must be of an ideal size. To determine an ideal size, of a table, a rough draft or sketch must be drawn. Means it should not be too large, it should not be too small. Then stubs, we have already discussed about this. If the rows are long, stubs may be given at a right hand side of the table. Now use of 0. This is very important point. 0 should only be used to indicate the quantity of the variable. It should not be used to indicate the non-availability of data. If the data are non-available, then it should be indicated by NA, that is non-available, or dash, that is the minus sign. Then headings. Headings should generally be written in the singular form. For example, in the columns indicated goods, the word good should be used. Abbreviation. Use of abbreviations should be avoided in the heading or subheadings of a table because abbreviations sometimes may create confusion. For example, if there is a student, Pranav Madhan, and he uses the abbreviation PM. In fact, PM means Prime Minister. So, abbreviations should be avoided because it may lead to confusion. Then footnote. Footnote should be given only if needed. Units may be specified above the columns. Then in the table, subtotal of the items must be given at the end of each row. Grand total of the items must also be noted. Percentage and ratios. Percentage figures should be provided in the table. If possible, this makes the data more informative. Then extent of approximation. If some approximate figures have been used in the table, the extent of approximation must be noted. Then sources of data. Sources of data must be noted at the foot of the table. It is generally noted next to the footnote. Size of columns. Size of columns must be uniform and symmetrical because it will make the table more attractive. Ruling of columns. Columns must be divided into different sections according to similarities of the data. It will again give an attractive look to the table. Then simple, economical and attractive. A table must be simple, attractive and economical in space because only because of these attributes the effect of the table will become long lasting. So these are the features or qualities or guidelines for constructing a good table. Now we will discuss about the kinds of table. We have different kinds. First, this is according to purpose, then according to originality, then so we are going to discuss this is according to characteristics. First is according to purpose, according to originality, according to characteristics. We will discuss these tables one by one. First is according to purpose. There are two types of tables on the basis of purpose. One is general and second is specific. General tables, these tables are just for general purposes. These tables are generally attached to some official reports like census reports of India. These are also called reference tables, means they do not have any specific objective. On the other hand, specific purpose table is that table which is prepared with some specific purpose in the mind. In this table, the data is presented in the form of result of the analysis. That's why these tables are also called summary tables. Now, according to originality, an original table is that table in which data are presented in the same form of the result of the analysis, that is in the form in which the data is collected. For example, if the data is collected in absolute numbers and we are presenting the table in absolute numbers, it will become an original table. Second, this is derived table. A derived table is that in which data are not presented in the form of manner in which these are collected. Instead, the data are presented after converting data into ratios and percentages. Tables according to construction. First is simple or one way. A simple table is that which shows only one characteristics of the data, as it is clear in the table that number of students of different classes, means here we are just showing one character, that is number of students in different classes. Now complex table. A complex table is one which shows more than characteristic of the data. On the basis of the characteristics shown, these tables may be further classified as double or two-way table, treble table, then manifold table. First, double or two-way table. A two-way table is that which shows two characteristics of the data. For example, along with number of students in different classes, we are also depicting the gender of the students, that is boys and girls. So two characteristics are shown in this table. That's why it is a two-way table. Now, three-way or treble table. A table which shows three characteristics of data. For example, along with the class and gender, we are also locating the locations of the students, that is rural and urban areas. So, because the table is showing three characteristics, that's why it is also known as three-way table. Now, next is a manifold table. The manifold table is the one that shows more than three characteristics. For example, along with the number of students, their residential areas, their gender, we are here depicting their married status, that is whether they are married or unmarried, because in this table four characteristics are shown simultaneously. That's why this is known as manifold table. Now, next topic, this is classification of data and tabular presentation. We have already discussed these concepts in our chapter related with classification of data, but because we are discussing here the tables, that's why we can recall this topic. First is qualitative classification of data and tabular presentation. When data are classified on the basis of qualitative attributes or qualitative characteristics of a phenomena like male and female, rural, urban, etc. In this, tables are drawn by showing the attributes or qualitative attributes of the information. Now, what's about the quantitative classification? When tables are drawn on the basis of quantitative characteristics, like we are preparing a table uh, on the basis of the marks obtained by the students of class 11 in statistics. This is quantitative classification. Then temporal classification of data and tabular presentation. When the table is prepared on the basis of time, that is, the time becomes the classifying variable. For example, production of wheat in different years during the period 2018 to 2020. Because now the table is drawn on the basis of time, it will become temporal classification. Next, spatial classification, also known as locational classification. When location or geographical area becomes the classifying variable. For example, production of bicycles in Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh during 2019-20. Here, the information, that is tabulation, is based on the location. It will become locational classification. Now, this is about the merits of tabular presentation. The first and the most important merit is that it presents data in a simple and brief form. It facilitates the comparison. That's why it facilitates the further algebraic analysis. And because of algebraic analysis, it helps to interpret the result. Now, next topic. This is, it highlights the characteristic of data. As we have already discussed that the one of the important feature of table is that it highlights the characteristics. Now, it is quite economical because it requires a very less space to present the information. So all these are about the merits of tabular presentation. So with this, your topic is over. You are now, what's about your homework? Do revise the chapter thoroughly and send me your doubts either on app or in group or to me personally. Dear students, your unit tests have been postponed, but I will carry on the revision process, and first I will complete all the 9 chapters, then I will start the 10th chapter. So, dear students, revise the chapter thoroughly. Have a wonderful day.